right, you guys, welcome into January 26th. I hope all is well. Deep breath, everybody. Deep breath. Hope you're doing great. Let's see where we go this morning. Lots of lessons showing up. You know what I mean? It's just like, all right, so just take a deep breath and pull back and see the lesson. Okay? See the lesson of things. That's how you can get out of your spin. Okay? So if you're in a spin about something, just pull back and try to see the lesson. It will help you to get emotionally removed from what's going on right now, whatever it is. Wow, I'm just feeling a lot of twisted up energy and a lot of psychic attacking out of fear, out of anger, any kind of low vibration. So let's just take a little grounding breath here. And I want to call in my guides and angels to protect this reading, to protect everyone watching this reading, to protect myself and Charlie from any kind of intrusion. And let's see where we go. Okay? All right, that feels better. That feels better. I was just tapping into something that was like, woo. All right, fogged in. Uncovering treasure. Beneath the surface lies a great bounty. This is exactly what I'm talking about. There's something really amazing happening. Something really amazing happening in terms of what you're experiencing right now. So if you're looking at it through the lens of, oh my God, it's change, it's scary, it sucks, whatever it is, may I invite you to pull back and this is kind of hard for those of us who are like always trying to figure things out, always trying to know the answer, okay? Sometimes you don't know the answer. Sometimes you don't know. And only by, going back into that mindset of anything is possible, everything is always working out for me, can you ever really see the treasure that's underneath, okay? Journey by moonlight. Believe in magic. So whatever's going on right now, whatever I just tapped into, there is a certain amount of stuck energy here, but there's also kind of like a panicky feeling. So the idea of going slow and taking your time is really going to be an important one. If you feel the need to know the answer right now, your job is going to be stop. Just allow yourself to stand still. I know that's really hard when things are, I got to have an answer. I got to figure out what to do next with my work or with my love or with my life or with my house or with my friend or whatever. I got to know the answer. And I feel like right now the best way to get yourself into the space of hearing your guides is to take it down. All right? Just take it down a notch. You're way too amped up about something here. And it's just all going to work out if you allow yourself to breathe and get grounded, because only through that are you going to really see the gems of wisdom that are coming through. Follow the signs. Spoke with a friend of mine last night. We talked about following the signs, or she talked about it rather, following the signs of things. And when you pull back, a lot of times we get a lot of emails here about what does this mean, especially in the Empress Club, and I've been talking about Chiron also for a while. Chiron is your deep core wound, and sometimes it's the hardest thing to see. You can definitely fix it for other people, but it's really hard for you to fix for yourself. So I'm going to do a class about that if you're interested. There's a link in the description box if you want to come along on that. And really, what we're trying to uncover is things that are hard for us to see. They might be really easy for someone else to see. That's why, when you're in the middle of something, sometimes it's best to try and act as if it's happening to somebody else. Then that gives you a sense of perspective. Perspective has always been a thing, right? Especially when it's like this. When you feel like out in the cold, you feel like you don't know what's going on. You can get into this Queen of Wands and Five of Wands experience of, I just got to do something. I just got to take action so it makes me feel better. Action makes me feel better. Instead, what's really wanting to happen is to manifest something. And that's a different vibe. Manifesting isn't about doing. It's about being. Okay? It's about being in the vibration. So if you're trying to manifest success in your life in any regard, business, money, love, health, if you're trying to manifest a certain, let's not call it success. Let's call it a certain state of consciousness. If you're trying to manifest that, getting into that state of consciousness is going to be the thing. That's going to be the thing. I'll give you an example of that. Okay, so this weekend, my heat went out. 16 degrees here in Maine. And I left the house and I came back in and it was cold in here. And I wasn't gone that long. And it was cold in here. And right away, I'm running around, getting firewood, getting the fire going, I have 2 heat, heaters that I can turn on. I turned on my oven, like anything to get heat, right? It's a Sunday. I wake up in the morning, colder still. Okay, so that happened on Saturday night. Wake up in the morning, I thought, okay, well, I'll deal with it in the morning. The whole house was very cold. So again, ginning up the fire, ginning up all this stuff. Spent lots of my day and lots of my energy yesterday making sure there was heat in here, right? Very root chakra activity. And running around. This morning, the heat guy came in and said, the batteries in your thermostat need changing. If I had taken 2 seconds to just be like, okay, what's really going on here? I may have figured that out. Instead of going to the symptoms and trying to attack the symptoms, sitting down, getting grounded, and seeing it in a little bit broader perspective of like, okay, well, why is this working and that's not working? Why, right? Instead, just like trying to, put out the fire, try to make the fire, to make the heat. The guy was like, I'm like, please don't laugh at me. But, that's what happened. And so it gave me that mindset of like, oh, guess what? You're trying to stamp out the things, symptoms, things that show up in your life and not looking at the root cause of the thing. Okay? Sometimes the root cause is super simple. All right? 9 of Swords, Tower, 4 of Swords. Justice, wow. 5 of Swords, 3 of Cups. 7 of Cups, 8 of Swords. Look at all this 7 of Swords. Okay, let me just say this to you. What's going on subconsciously is a fear about being left, a fear about being out in the cold, a fear of having other people not approve of you, a fear of not figuring it out, okay? So everything is like going to the mind right now. Let's see. 4 of Swords, 4 of Swords, 5 of Swords, 7 of Swords, 8 of Swords, 9 of Swords, Tower. You see how that is progressing? And that's all about thoughts. You've created a thought in your head that basically it was worst case scenario. You've gone to the worst case scenario around this. So this energy, okay, the 9 of Swords energy, she's in bed going, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to know what it really is. I don't want to know what the root cause is. I'm more comfortable, they call it spiritual bypassing. I'm more comfortable doing things, doing. I'm more comfortable doing rather than understanding what's going on. And the doing here is about thinking. Okay, the doing here is about thinking. The Uncovering Treasure and the Journey by Moonlight is really asking you right now to sit back and just see those thoughts, see those things pass by you, see all the worries, all the concerns. What are all these mindsets coming from? What's the root of all of these mindsets that are clouding your judgment right now They're clouding your ability. They're drowning out your ability to be connected to source. And instead of running around getting firewood and setting up heating sources and things like that, you might just want to take a minute, stop, and try to get balanced here. All right, Libra energy here. Try to get balanced. Try to deal with the situation. You're not seeing things clearly. 8 of Swords, 7 of Cups. Boy, if that's not like massive confusion, I don't know. And then 7 of Swords is about, running away or escaping or something like that. You could be escaping into drinking or escaping into gaming, escaping into spiritual bypassing sometimes. There's a mirror in there. He thinks there's another dog. I know. He's a puppy. So what I'm seeing here is that there's a difference between you're seeing something terrible around every corner, but you're also not really seeing the real deal. You're not really letting yourself see the real deal. All right. So what I want to say to you about this feels very much to me like you're finally going to let some things in. Some things are going to kind of rush in over you. And you might have been like trying to hold them back for a long time. All right. And so thoughts here crashing in on you. Also, now there's opportunity for healing. Okay. Now there's a really good moment in time when all of your fears, and this happened to me, I want to say 10 years ago, and then again 5 years ago. And it's like when your fears start crashing in on you, it's almost like that's powerful, because then you know where you are. When they're just in your head, when they're fears that are like, could happen anytime, or it's like, random BS and stuff like that, it's sort of more powerful. But when something actually is on a 3D level, something that comes crashing in on you, then you're like, okay, well, now I can deal with it. At least that's how I have been, moving around in my life for all this time, is that, when things are in front of you. But if you move into this 5D world, into this world that we're creating, we're creating these things, right? Just like Charlie created that there's another dog in there. For him, that's real. And for you, this is real. Okay? This is real. But it's a block. It's a block that has to go to free you from this. Okay? I want to get some clarity around this 5 of Swords. Please clarify the 5 of Swords. 10 of Wands. It's a burden. This is about, I feel like it is about you getting more balanced, more grounded. But there's things that take your attention away from where it needs to be. Ego, how people see you, things like that. And those are very expensive. Okay, those are very expensive right now. This 8 of Swords and 7 of Cups, so confused about what to do. So why is the 7 of Swords here? Page of Wands. You need a little inspiration. All right? This is like all the monsters in your head, all the things that I could show you that are like, what's your biggest fear? What's what's happening right now? What do you think could happen? And like, right? You see this, like, if this happens, then this happens, and this happens, and this happens, and this happens, right? Just blah, 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 blah. It's a lot like what this is, right? All these swords, all these mind, messages that are kind of blocking your ability to really manifest something powerful, is that the fear. This is fear. It's about fear. Okay? And when you get stuck or stopped in anything, you could have this mindset of, oh, well, that means it's over. You could have a mindset of, that means I'm doing the wrong thing. You could have a mindset of, I don't have enough. I don't have what I need. And so I need to go out and find some stuff to make this work again. And the truth is, a lot of times when you're in this fogged in place, when you can't make things move or you can't seem to, really what's necessary is to sit back and get some perspective. Instead of trying to like wallpaper over cockroaches, just sit back. Just sit back and allow things to flow in and feel your fear, see your fear. Like, I see you. I know your fear. Okay. Sometimes fear of doing nothing, right? Doing nothing when you're in this place of like, I got to do something. I can't just do nothing. Sometimes that isn't helpful. All right? Sometimes that's not helpful. So this is about finally putting down a burden of fear mindset that you have and all of the things you do, the coping mechanisms, the wallpapering over the cockroaches, the things like that that make you feel better in the short term, but it's not really the thing. And I feel like the thing is to stand still and embrace the standing still. All right? Embrace that instead of being afraid of this. Like, this means all those things I just said to you. This means it's not working. This means embrace that unknowingness. Embrace the moment of not knowing. And that puts you back in the learner's mindset. Okay, universe, I don't know what to do. Help me. You have to ask. You have to ask. And as I was talking to my friend last night, we were talking about that, you know, the guides, your guides, I don't know if you know this, but this is like a massive lesson. Your guides won't help you unless you ask. They won't intervene. They'll let you fall down. They'll let you go down a road. They won't assist. I mean, they'll keep you from like falling off a cliff, but like, unless you ask. Please, guides, archangels, all the angels, the legion of angels helping me, supporting me, caring for me. Please bring me information, help, assistance around this situation. I listen for your guidance. Gratitude in advance. Much love, thank you. You know, something like simple, like I just made that up, right? Something simple like that. And immediately, even when I just said that, I feel like a wash of peace. Because you're not seeing it, right? I didn't see that the batteries were dead. I had to actively go look for that, but I also had to take a minute. If I had taken a minute to just stop. Okay, what are all the options here? Instead, I just wanted to put out fires. All right, so do yourself a favor and just stand still for a second and ask for help. Ask for help. All right, so I'm going to continue on. If this reading has resonated for you, I'm going to continue on. If you're on Patreon, the rest of this reading, there's a link below to Vimeo, or if you're on Patreon, the rest of this reading starts right now.